Based on the content from Group 1 about how Amish celebrate Christmas, here's a rewritten script using my own words with a different order of subjects. The most authentic Christmas you've never seen. How America's simplest community celebrates the holidays. While most of us are maxing out credit cards and fighting through crowded shopping centers, there's a community in America that celebrates Christmas in a way so different it might completely change how you think about the holiday season. Forget everything you know about Christmas morning chaos, expensive gift exchanges, and holiday stress. The Amish have created a celebration so focused on meaning over materialism that it puts our modern Christmas traditions to shame. When Christmas actually happens. Here's something that will blow your mind. Not all Amish communities even celebrate Christmas on December 25th. Picture this scenario. You're driving through rural Pennsylvania in early January, and you see Amish families heading to church services while everyone else is taking down their decorations and nursing post-holiday hangovers. These traditional communities are just beginning their Christmas celebrations. The split comes down to which calendar system different Amish groups follow. The more traditional communities, including Old Order Amish and some conservative groups, celebrate what they call Old Christmas on January 6th. They believe this date, which coincides with Epiphany, represents the actual date of Christ's birth. These communities sometimes refer to December 25th as the world's Christmas, their polite way of saying the rest of us got it wrong when we switched to the modern calendar system. On the other side, you have New Order Amish and some progressive communities who decided to align with December 25th. They figured it made practical sense to celebrate on the same day as their non-Amish neighbors, though don't expect them to participate in any last-minute Christmas Eve shopping frenzies. What's fascinating is that many communities technically acknowledge both dates in their own way. Some have a casual recognition of December 25th while saving their real celebration for January 6th, or vice versa. It's like having two Christmases, but not in the commercial way most of us might imagine. The complete absence of Santa. If you're looking for Santa Claus in an Amish Christmas celebration, you'll be searching forever. The jolly old elf doesn't make appearances in these communities, not even on greeting cards or children's toys. This isn't an oversight or a cultural blind spot. It's a deliberate choice to focus entirely on the Christ child and keep their celebration rooted in religious observance. Instead of Santa stories and reindeer tales, Amish children grow up with Christmas narratives centered on the Nativity, the journey to Bethlehem, and the profound mystery of Christ's birth. Their Christmas songs tell stories that most modern carols don't touch. They sing about shepherds in their fields and the theological significance of God becoming human, with a depth that reflects centuries of faith tradition. This creates a completely different Christmas morning experience for Amish children. There's no frantic unwrapping of presents from Santa, no cookies left out for magical visitors, and no elaborate stories about North Pole workshops. Instead, there's a calm focus on the religious meaning of the day that shapes everything else about their celebration. Gift giving. That actually means something. While most of us are frantically trying to find the perfect gift or spending money we don't have on things people probably don't need, Amish gift giving operates on completely different principles. Forget about the latest gadgets, designer clothes, or anything that requires batteries. Amish families exchange gifts that are created with their own hands, often taking months to complete. Picture receiving a handmade quilt where every stitch tells a story, or a rocking chair crafted from solid wood that's built to last for generations. Amish children might find wooden toys carved by their father, complete with moving parts that actually work, or cozy mittens knitted by their mother during long autumn evenings. These aren't just gifts, they're family heirlooms in the making. The practicality of these gifts would make your grandmother proud. Instead of novelty items that will be forgotten by New Year's, Amish families give things people actually need. A new set of hand-forged tools for someone starting their own workshop, or a basket of home-canned vegetables from last summer's garden. It's the kind of gift-giving that makes you wonder why we ever thought battery-operated dancing decorations were a good idea. Even their Christmas cards put our hastily signed, store-bought greetings to shame. Amish cards are often handmade masterpieces, featuring carefully written Bible verses or heartfelt prayers. Some families make creating their own cards a community project, turning what could be a chore into meaningful family time. And unlike our cards covered in glitter that seems to escape and spread everywhere, Amish Christmas cards typically feature simple, elegant designs like stars or angels. The whole gift-giving process is refreshingly free from the stress that characterizes most of our holiday shopping. There's no Black Friday stampedes, no last-minute panic ordering, and definitely no gift receipts needed. When you've spent months crafting the perfect gift, you don't need to worry about whether it's the right size or if someone else bought the same thing. Christmas dinner without the chaos. Step into an Amish Christmas dinner and you'll discover what comfort food really means. While most of us are stressing over complicated recipes we found online or trying to recreate dishes from cooking shows, Amish families are carrying on food traditions that have been perfected over generations. At the heart of their Christmas feast, you'll find roast chicken that's not just any roast chicken. It's a bird that was probably running around the farmyard that morning, seasoned with herbs grown in their own garden, and roasted to golden perfection that would make food photographers weep. The mashed potatoes are whipped into clouds of buttery heaven, made from potatoes dug from their own fields with enough richness to make you forget all about instant potato flakes. Then there's the legendary choufle pie, a Pennsylvania Dutch masterpiece that could start family feuds if you tried to take the last piece. Picture a perfect blend of molasses, brown sugar, and crumb topping that creates something between a cake and a pie. Some families have been using the same recipe since before electricity existed, and honestly, they haven't needed to change a single ingredient. The ham they serve isn't some store-bought product with questionable glaze packets. We're talking about meat that's been cured and smoked using methods passed down through generations, served alongside fresh bread that was baked that morning. The bread is so good it makes you question every sandwich you've ever eaten. And those vegetables on the side were probably picked from their garden at peak ripeness and preserved just for occasions like this. But here's where it gets really interesting. When Amish communities gather for Christmas, the meal becomes a communal masterpiece. Every family brings their specialty dish, creating a feast that puts most restaurant buffets to shame. Mrs. Miller might be famous for her perfectly flaky pie crusts, while the Yoder family's green bean casserole has a secret ingredient that nobody's been able to figure out for 3 generations. The preparation for these meals starts days in advance, with kitchens becoming bustling workshops where mothers and daughters work side by side, rolling out dough, chopping vegetables, and sharing techniques that can't be learned from any cookbook. It's like a well-oiled machine, except instead of oil, it runs on tradition and butter. Lots of butter. Church services that actually matter. Forget about quick Christmas Eve services where people check their phones and rush out to finish last-minute preparations. Amish Christmas church services are marathon events that can last 3 hours or more, and nobody's checking their watch, mainly because they don't wear watches, but you get the point. These services take their regular Sunday intensity and multiply it by about 10. The hymns are longer, the Bible readings more extensive, and the sermons, well, let's just say you better have eaten a good breakfast because you're going to be there for a while. The singing during these services is something else entirely. Imagine harmony-perfect voices filling a room with people who've been singing these hymns since they could talk, creating sound that's pure and powerful without any musical accompaniment. What's particularly fascinating is how children handle these extended services. While most kids might be bouncing off the walls thinking about presents, Amish children sit quietly, participating with a maturity that seems almost supernatural to outsiders. Sure, the little ones might get fidgety, they're still kids after all, but there's an understanding that this is important. Sacred time. The ministers deliver sermons that dive deep into the Christmas story, but not in ways you might expect. They'll spend time examining details that most people gloss over. The significance of the manger, the symbolic meaning of the shepherd's presence, the theological implications of God becoming human. It's like a masterclass in biblical interpretation, delivered in Pennsylvania Dutch with everyone hanging on every word. Family gatherings that span generations. While most of us are lucky to get extended family together for a few hours without someone starting an argument, Amish Christmas celebrations bring together multiple generations in numbers that would make your family reunion look like a casual coffee date. We're talking cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and probably some relatives whose exact connection nobody can quite remember, but they're family all the same. The journey to these gatherings is an experience in itself. While most of us are fighting holiday traffic or racing to catch flights, Amish families travel by horse and buggy through the crisp winter air. Picture the clip-clop of hooves on country roads, maybe some snow falling gently around you. It's like stepping into a Christmas card, minus the commercial tackiness. But here's where the Amish really show us what community means. Their Christmas celebrations aren't just about gathering with blood relatives. The entire church community comes together in ways that would put most neighborhood block parties to shame. Special church services become reunion points where families share not just prayers but also news, support, and probably some gentle gossip because, let's face it, even the Amish enjoy a good story. What's particularly heartwarming is how they look after community members who might otherwise be alone during the holidays. While many of us are busy with our own celebrations, Amish communities make it their mission to ensure no one spends Christmas in solitude. The elderly, the sick, or families going through tough times receive extra attention during the holiday season. The music that moves your soul. If you think regular Christmas caroling is special, wait until you hear how the Amish do it. No backing tracks, no printed lyric sheets, and definitely no light-up decorations. Just pure soul-stirring harmony that would make your local choir hang up their robes in shame. When Amish families go caroling, they create music that makes you stop whatever you're doing and just listen. The tradition starts with families and church groups bundling up against winter cold, climbing into their buggies, and heading out into the crisp evening air. But this isn't your typical Jingle Bells and Rudolph affair. Amish carolers sing hymns that have been passed down through generations, many in their traditional Pennsylvania Dutch language. These songs tell the story of Christ's birth with depth and reverence that makes "Deck the Halls" sound like a nursery rhyme. What's truly remarkable is how they prepare for these caroling expeditions. They practice their hymns throughout the year during church services and family gatherings. Young children grow up learning these songs from the moment they can speak, absorbing complex harmonies and traditional melodies like they're learning their native language. By the time they're teenagers, many can sing multiple harmony parts without even thinking about it. And here's something that might blow your mind. They do all this without instruments. No guitar, no piano, not even a pitch pipe. The starting note is given by one of the experienced singers, and everyone joins in with perfect harmony. It's like watching a master class in a cappella singing, except instead of performing on a stage, they're standing in the snow outside someone's farmhouse. Work schedules that make sense. Here's something that might raise eyebrows in today's world: the Amish approach to Christmas work schedules. They do take the day off, but it's strictly for religious observance. There's no extended holiday break, no using up vacation days, no elaborate time-off requests. They're typically back to their regular routines the very next day. It's a far cry from the modern tradition of essentially shutting down for weeks around the holidays. While most of us are extending Christmas into a multi-week celebration that starts before Thanksgiving and doesn't end until New Year's, the Amish treat Christmas as exactly what it is: one significant day focused on religious meaning. This approach might seem limiting to people accustomed to extended holiday breaks, but it reflects their understanding that meaningful celebration doesn't require weeks of preparation and recovery. The day itself is so rich with family time, community connection, and spiritual focus that it doesn't need to be stretched across multiple weeks to have impact. The decorations you'll never see. Walk through any Amish home during Christmas season and you'll notice something striking: the complete absence of what most of us consider essential Christmas decorations. No Christmas trees, no ornaments, no sparkly lights, and definitely no inflatable lawn decorations. Their focus remains purely on the religious significance of the day, proving that you don't need all the trimmings to celebrate one of the most important days in the Christian calendar. This absence of decorations isn't about being anti-Christmas or lacking holiday spirit. It's about maintaining focus on what they believe Christmas is really about. Instead of spending time and money on decorations that will be packed away in a few weeks, they invest their energy in the relationships, traditions, and spiritual practices that give the holiday lasting meaning. The beauty of this approach is that it eliminates all the stress associated with decorating, maintaining, and storing Christmas decorations. There's no pressure to outdo last year's display, no competition with neighbors, and no post-holiday cleanup that takes weeks to complete. The extended celebration. Just when most of us are taking down decorations and feeling that post-holiday crash, Amish communities are still going strong with their celebrations. For them, December 26th or January 7th isn't a signal to rush back to normal life. Instead, they're just getting started with what might be the most meaningful part of their Christmas season. The extended period known as the 12 Days of Christmas becomes a time of continued family gatherings, community events, and ongoing charitable works. Picture this. Instead of everyone being exhausted from holiday preparations, these folks are fresh and ready to focus on what matters, spending time with loved ones and helping others. Their approach to extending the Christmas spirit is particularly clever. Rather than cramming all their visiting and celebrations into 1 or 2 days, they spread it out over several weeks. Families take turns hosting gatherings, sharing meals, and continuing the practice of giving well into the new year. The charitable aspect of their post-Christmas season is especially noteworthy. While many of us are making New Year's resolutions will probably break by February, Amish communities are actively helping their neighbors through harsh winter months. They're checking on elderly community members, bringing food to families in need, and making sure no one's woodpile runs low during cold spells. The lesson in all of this. After exploring how the Amish celebrate Christmas, we might all need to admit they've got a few things figured out that we've somehow forgotten along the way. Their approach challenges everything we think we know about holiday celebration, gift-giving, and what really makes Christmas meaningful. While we're maxing out credit cards buying things people probably don't need, they're creating gifts that actually mean something. While we're stressed about decorating and entertaining, they're focused on the relationships and spiritual meaning that give the holiday its true significance. While we're exhausted from weeks of preparation and celebration, they're maintaining a steady pace that keeps both their farms running and their community bonds strong. Maybe this year, instead of getting caught up in the commercial chaos of the season, we could take a page from the Amish playbook. Not that you have to sell your car and buy a horse and buggy, but perhaps we could all benefit from slowing down, focusing on what matters and remembering that the best gifts often can't be bought in stores. After all, isn't that what we're all really looking for during the holiday season? Not more stuff, but more meaning. Not more events, but more connection. Not more presents, but more presence. The Amish might be living in a way that seems old-fashioned to many, but when it comes to celebrating Christmas, they might just be light years ahead of the rest of us. Their celebration reminds us that true holiday joy doesn't come from perfect decorations, expensive gifts, or elaborate celebrations. It comes from community, gratitude, and taking time to focus on what really matters. In a world that's increasingly complex and stressful, maybe there's wisdom in learning from people who've discovered that the most meaningful celebrations are often the simplest ones.